everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Emily. I am doing something very exciting today that I have done quite a few times now here on my channel, but I feel like this is the most excited I have been to reorganize my bookshelves because they were literally a mess before, and I'm so annoyed at myself because I forgot to take a before clip of my bookshelves because I was just so excited to get all of the books off so I could start completely fresh, but they were just kind of like a mess, and I'm going to explain how I had them organized last time and how I'm going to organize them this time. I'm also not going to finish this today. It is already almost 6 p.m. and it is 35 degrees today. Very hot. This room also gets like no circulation, so it is like scorching hot in here, and I've got no air conditioning or anything. However, it's also going to be hot tomorrow and we don't have power all day tomorrow, so I thought that I would start it today and then continue and finish it tomorrow while we don't have power, because I just feel like that makes the most sense, so I can do something with my time when I'm going to be bored otherwise. So to sort of explain how I did them last time, so instead of going like down in sections with like genres, I actually went across. So for example, top two shelves all the way across were like romance books, and then again, for example, the next three shelves were like fantasy all the way across. But I don't want to do it this time because I just feel like when I'm filming TikToks and stuff like that and like short form content, the bookshelf that's like in the back the most, which is probably this one, just looks really messy because of all the different genres on there. And so I'm going to do it genre by genre, but like downwards, if that makes any sense. So for example, this whole shelf is going to be romance because I feel like that's like the prettiest books to have in the background of my TikToks, and that's kind of like what I'm focusing on. And then I'm going to add little decor pieces as well. I hope that makes sense. That was a lot of rambling, but I feel like it'll make more sense as I start. I'm planning on focusing on just the romance shelf today because I just feel like that's the one that, again, is the most important. I also have a whole stack here of like my special edition books with sprayed edges. I'll put like a clip over the screen. I really want to put those like all together somewhere, so I'm thinking on one of the top shelves just because I feel like it just makes the most sense to have them up there because I don't reach for them very often. It's kind of just like more for decoration, so definitely going to figure out where to put those. I do have quite a lot, so it might be like 2 shelves across the top, but again, I will decide that. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to bring in like my favorite romance series so I can like plonk them on the shelves, and then I'll figure out like the organization of them and which ones I kind of want on display and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go grab them first and do a little time lapse. Okay, so I've put my 2 favorite romance series there. So it's the Boys of Tommen series and the Magnolia Parks universe. And as you can see, some of my shelves are also like quite narrow, I guess the word would be, because I do have an extra shelf that I've put into every single shelf just so I have extra space. I think I'm going to focus it on these 2 because I just don't think that they're going to fit standing up in this shelf, because that one's kind of for like smaller paperbacks and these are all quite big paperbacks. So I'm going to try to organize them and then I'll be back when I'm finished. I am really liking that so far. I feel like they are fitting perfectly. Okay, I really wanted to have them on one shelf next to each other, but they just don't fit because I have multiple like copies of the same series, obviously. So I've put them on different bookshelves, and then I'm just gonna put some of my other favorite romance authors next to them to like fill up the gaps. I also have this cute little bee container thing. I don't really know what to call this, like pot, I don't know. But if you know the reference to bees in the Magnolia Parks universe, so I'm going to put this on the shelf in front of them, obviously. I'm going to try to go and figure out what authors that I want to put next to these books, and then I'll be back again with an update. I feel like this is just going to be me coming back and forwards to talk to you guys. Let me walk you through what I've just done because I'm actually obsessed with how it's looking so far. Like, this is going to look so cute in the backgrounds of my videos and stuff. So pretty much I've got my 2 favorite series here, obviously, and then I've added Emily Henry's books, Elsie Silver's books, and then Ashley Poston books. I need to figure out another like smaller author to put in here. But then this shelf, so adorable. I've put some of my romance books in this crate thing. I've had that like on my shelves before, but it just didn't look as cute. And then these adorable bookends that I bought recently with Abby Jimenez's books in the middle, because literally the perfect author to put in the middle. I love her books. So I'm obsessed with how it's looking so far. It literally looks so cute. I am going to try to focus on just putting a bunch more romance books on the shelves now with like a little time lapse, because I feel like they're like the main show. Like, that's going to be mainly in the background of my videos. update. This is how it's looking so far. I've pretty much filled that whole shelf of romance books, and that's where my dilemma comes in, because I do have quite a lot more romance books that I need to fit on these shelves. So I'm probably going to fit as many as I can. I'm still thinking of just leaving that top shelf empty and doing the sprayed edges across the top, and then I can have like, I don't know, maybe like these 3 shelves or something can be extra romance shelves or something, but I think I'm gonna figure that out at the end when I see how much space I have and where the space is. So right now I just need to finish filling that bottom shelf. There's like a little bit more space, and then I think I'm gonna put like the sprayed edges along the top just to see how it looks, because I think that'll look really cool in my videos as well if like my sprayed edges are in it. So that's the plan for now. I'm a little stressed, did not realize how many romance books I had. Okay, I think I really like how the sprayed edges look right now. I've kind of put them in like rainbow order as much as I can just so they look more aesthetically pleasing, but I can tell that it's starting to get a little bit darker. I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but it definitely is, and I just feel like I need a break, so I'm going to come back for you guys tomorrow, and tomorrow we can actually finish these shelves. Okay guys, I am back. It is day 2 and I am going to finish my bookshelves today, hopefully in the next couple of hours. We also do not have power today, as I mentioned yesterday, so I can't even use my ring light or anything, and it's a little bit gloomy today, so hopefully the lighting looks okay on the video. Looks okay for me looking at the viewfinder. So last night I actually ended up finishing putting down all of the romance books. So I said that I was going to put them on my shelves at the end after all the other genres, but then I realized that genres like thrillers and general fiction and my non-fiction books I don't really have many of, so that's where I'm going to put them here, and I've just continued my romance shelves up here as well. So I have this whole section of romance and then all the way up here as well, and I've also got extra space if I find a couple more in the other stacks, but I did try to take them off my shelves in their genres, so I don't really think there is any more romance. And then I've just put this cute little typewriter Lego here as well, which I'll show you guys like the decorations and stuff in like an in-depth bookshelf tour, but that won't be for a couple of months because I'm very busy at the moment. Anyway, now I'm going to go on to the fantasy shelf, I think. So I'm going to have this whole section as fantasy. I don't know if it's going to take up the whole section because I don't have as many fantasy books as like romance books, but then again romance books took up such a massive section, so I feel like maybe I could fill up that section with fantasy. And then that little side one I actually don't know what I'm going to do with yet. I have not decided, but I'm just going to start putting the fantasy books on the shelves now because I feel like that's the next thing that I'm the most excited about. Okay, here's an overview of what I've done so far. I love that it's literally like getting larger and larger, but really liking it so far. So this one is more like dystopian because obviously the Shadow Me series is not really fantasy, it's more like dystopian sci-fi. And then this series, the Selection series, is also dystopian, so I'm going to try to keep that whole shelf dystopian. And then I've got the Lightlark series, the Akane series that's missing a few because I haven't actually started this series yet, the Whisper duology by Lynette Noni, and the Prison Healer trilogy by Lynette Noni. So looking good so far here. And then here I have some Stephanie Garber books. So I've got the Caraval trilogy. I do have the Once Upon a Broken Heart paperbacks as well, but they're larger, so I'm going to put them in a different spot. The Akatar series and the Throne of Glass series, obviously. And I'm just going to continue filling it up, honestly, because I feel like I don't really need to talk through this too much. Okay, I've just finished putting all of the fantasy books on my shelves, and I have filled up some of the side ones as well because I did not have enough space and I thought that I'd just continue going along. I'm not like obsessed with how the fantasy books look just because I feel like fantasies are kind of hard to make look good. Like with romance books, like there's so many nice like pastel-y sort of colours and stuff, and then fantasy books are like a lot of darker colours, so that's why I wanted this one to be romance. Obviously it looks prettier, but like I can always like change things around a little bit if I see things that should be changed. So yeah, this is what it's looking like overall. I have tried to fit like the same size paperbacks as well, and I did say I was going to leave this all dystopian, but I actually don't have that many dystopian books, so I ended up just filling it up. And then over here I've displayed my Mina Lima Harry Potter books. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. I'm so excited to get the rest of them when they start coming out. I've put all of my Marissa Meyer books here just because they look good together. My Twilight books and some other books here. The Powerless trilogy and Quicksilver. This is like a cool arc that I got, so I kind of just wanted to display it. And then some more fantasy books. So that is like everything. Now I think I've put all my fantasy books on the shelves. So now this is like all over the place, but I'm going to go back over to this side. I think I'm going to start with Taylor Jenkins Reid books just because they're very colourful as well, and they kind of fit in with like the romance and general fiction. So I'm going to do Taylor Jenkins Reid, general fiction, as far down as it goes, then thrillers, because thrillers don't look that great either, and then I'll figure out how much space I have left, but that's the plan for now. Okay, I have just finished putting all of the books and like little decor items on my shelves now, and I'm so happy with how they look. It took me maybe like an hour and a half to finish, which isn't as long as I expected, which is good. But I do have quite a lot of bookshelf space left. I don't know how I didn't really notice that before, but I did like declutter a few books as I was going, so maybe that's why as well. But I'm gonna do like a little overview of the shelves, and then obviously I will do an updated in-depth bookshelf tour in a couple of months. I do really like how it looks right now. I might play around with things like if I see things that I want to change, as I said earlier, but I'm not going to do like drastic changes or anything. That's why it's better for me to wait a couple of months before doing my like official bookshelf tour again. So this is what it looks like overall. They look so big, like every time I fill them up they just look massive. But anyway, so I've got my non-fiction books down here, thriller books, general fiction, which I didn't have as much as I sort of expected. Obviously all of my romance, I've gone over that multiple times with the sprayed edges and my hardcovers along the top. Hardcovers aren't really that common in Australia, so I've just put like the rest of them up there as well. Then this one was empty, so I decided to display some of my pretty sprayed edge books, if you guys can see. This one was also empty, so I just added a plant, my little bookmarks and my little Dobby Lego. Then I displayed my Harry Potter hardbacks, obviously I showed that before, some more fantasy paperbacks, my really pretty classic books, and this adorable little book nook that looks really cute, but I didn't really know where else to put it, but I do want to put something else next to that, just not sure what yet. But yeah, that is all from me today. That is the organization done again. I feel so accomplished every time I do this because there is like always hundreds of books around my house that I have to put back on here. I think I've got like over 600, and so it does take a long time. It's a very long process, but it's always worth it, and I love refreshing my bookshelves. I also absolutely love watching videos like this, and I hope that you guys loved watching this as well. With all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you got to the end, comment the butterfly emoji, and I hope to see you in my next one.